Guy! The hell's that noise?
It's scary.
Put some WD-40 on that door. What is this?
Oh, just wait. You'll know.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Celebrating 50 years of Flyers hockey.
Hextall going after Potvin. Hextall takes Potvin into the corner. And away we go. Potvin, Matt Goldmaster up, and away they go. Oh, they're trading rights. The goalie's going at it. Trading rights. Oh, I think Hextall caught him with one. The goaltender. And Ron Hextall rocked him, socked him, goaltenders there. Hextall just keeps swinging with the right hand. Potvin gets
Now,
the left.
Andy Robb, Ken Prell, the Philly hockey guy.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, it took me a while.
You know, it's
Yeah.
that time of year.
Yeah.
You know, you have to work it in.
Okay.
And it puts me in a good mood, and I needed that, especially after last night.
After last night, yeah, well, we have a lot of stuff that we got to cover. A couple games real quick because it's been a while since we've put out a show. But the last show we put out, I got it right. I nailed it. I got the prediction for the season opener against the Kings. Flyers win 4-2.
I don't remember that at all. So long ago.
I don't buy that.
Oh, shut up. Welcome to another thrilling episode of the Philly Hockey
I
Guys
see what you did there.
podcast. What?
Thrilling.
Okay. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, kill me now. I'm Andy Robb.
Ken Prell. I forgot my name there for a second.
Yeah, you are Ken. So, Flyers now 3-4-1 on the season, losing last night to the Yotes. Before we get into that, a quick recap for the season so far over these last couple games that the Flyers have had. Had a great win against the Sabres the other night.
It was a good win.
Okay, it was a win.
It was a win.
It was nice to see them win in the shootout.
Yes, that's always good to see. But this team is just this has been very rough to watch so far this season.
It's a very perplexing team to watch, and in that way, it could be aggravating to watch this team. You know, 1 minute they're good, the next they're kind of flat.
Does this team know that the first 20 minutes of the game count?
You took it right out of my mouth. It's like, I don't know. Are they aware that there's a first period?
It doesn't seem like it.
Because, it really seems like every game almost so far.
They've played 8 games. In 7 of the 8 games now, they've given up the first goal. It was only that first game against the Kings that they scored first.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good stat to know.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, weak starts to the first period, and that seems to be a great cause of frustration with a cross section of many Flyers fans right now because it makes the game tough to watch when you watch your first period, and there's just these defensive breakdowns and no real shots on net.
No. I mean, last night they didn't score until 10 minutes into the second period. So, it took them 30 minutes to get going last night.
It's definitely aggravating.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
As I tweeted out at Philly Hockey Guy after the game last night that it was just a depressing game to watch.
Real disappointed.
Yeah.
that pretty much sums it all up right there.
It was definitely tough to watch for most of that game, but it's nice to see them eventually clicking and getting their stuff going. But it's like it's always just too late, man.
Well, I mean, the games are exciting. I mean, they're falling behind. They're coming back. They're tying all these games up. And then, you just can't keep doing that, though. I mean, you have to.
You can't make a habit out of it.
No, because you have to up your level of intensity. You can't continue this way. It's just, like I said, so frustrating to watch.
Yeah, and there's also other facets of the team that are frustrating to watch as well.
The defense,
which I was going to say we're going to get to. So real quick, another recap: Flyers now 3-4-1 on the season. A couple of games have gone by since the last time that we spoke to you, and some run of the mill games. Just
yeah. Well, I mean, it's been the way the team has played. Sometimes they look really good. They look like they could be a bona fide playoff team. And then there's other times when, like last night, when you think, all right, this is once again a bubble team and probably on the outside looking in.
Makes me a little more nervous about tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, because you got the Pens coming up
that being
tomorrow.
Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Yeah.
So, yeah, you got a big game coming up then. And then, they got a quick turnaround because then they have to go play in Carolina on Sunday. So this is going to be another tough weekend for them. When you get a team like Arizona at home and you can't beat them, I mean, those are 2 big points that could come into play when we're looking at this team in April and May.
True. Yeah.
You can't let these 2 points go by. And you know what? If I'm Arizona, I would just want to schedule the Flyers for every game. I mean, they would be undefeated if they just played the Flyers.
Oh, Ryan White would win the scoring trophy.
He would.
He probably would. Speaking of which, he scored a goal last night.
I was surprised all the love Ryan White was getting on Twitter.
Oh,
last
dude, he's
night.
awesome. Nobody really
I
wanted
liked
him gone.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him when he was here, but I was just surprised how much of an impact he had on the Flyers fan base.
Do you still want him in Philadelphia at this current place in time after watching yesterday's performance during the game?
Who do I have to get rid of to bring him back?
I was surprised that Arizona didn't play Pronger last night.
That's right. They still have his rights, don't they?
I'm surprised that he didn't suit up.
Hey, do they want to take Andrew McDonald off our hands?
No.
Do they need any salary to
Yeah,
get
does
to the
anybody
floor?
want to take him? Like anybody? Seriously. Okay, so now I know that this is what you're itching to talk about since we've already mentioned it before. The defense. Go ahead. What do you got?
Well, no. I mean, this is the part that's
well,
the
no.
most-
You're before. You're like the defense. So go ahead.
Well, it is. It's
Time's
so
yours.
aggravating to watch McDonald out there. Every time there's a goal against the Flyers, 47 is on the ice. He might as well not be out there.
Yeah, he may as well just push a traffic cone around because I mean there were some pretty boneheaded plays that were a result of him.
He's turning over the puck. He's in the wrong position. I mean, at one time where he's supposed to be, he's over next to Ghost. I mean, I just don't. He's just so frustrating to watch. And I know we talked about this, I think, in the last episode, where at the end of last season, he seemed to turn his game around a little bit. He was an actual competent defenseman. But that's all out the door again this year. I mean, and you look at what the Flyers are paying this guy, eating up the salary cap space. I mean, it's just he's got to give something. And I know he had the goal last night, and I really thought hell froze over there for a second that he scored, and maybe thought he would redeem himself, but no, that went away real quick.
Yeah, and I think that the worst part about that is just it's not just being out of position; it doesn't help your goaltender. I mean, and that's the thing.
Well, no, I mean, you look at the goaltender. I mean,
there were some goals that that were scored, I think, over the last few games that really just, I think, were completely on defensive pairings not being exactly where they should be.
Yeah, I mean, they just hang Mason and Neuwirth out to dry with some of the way the defense is playing. I mean, early on in the season, we saw McDonald teamed up with Provorov out there, and Provorov looked like a rookie who did not belong.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, Hackstall makes the change, teams Provorov up with Manning, and now all of a sudden Provorov looks like an NHL defenseman.
Hey, Manning's been playing pretty well
Manning's
too.
Been playing well, so it just and now I think Ghost is now absorbing some of the pain of playing with McDonald now, and I don't think he can find his game. So I really hope when Del Zotto gets back, and hopefully that's soon here, that McDonald is sent up to the press box or to the Phantoms. I don't care wherever, but I just don't want to see him in a Flyers uniform anymore. I just can't watch it anymore. I'm sorry. I wanted to give the guy the benefit of the doubt at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I mean, for the price, for the term, I mean, dude, you can't even be like a third pairing defenseman. Like, come on, man.
No, I mean, it's rough to watch. And then you hear, and what scares me is you hear Hackstall come out and say that, oh, he's one of our more consistent defensemen. What? I mean, is he saying that just to boost his confidence, or does he really believe that? Because I really hope it's not the latter.
Yeah, I mean, he made some boneheaded turnovers. I mean, his very first shift of the game yesterday, when he was going around the corner, Dale Weiss, I think, was on the ice for that.
Like I said, it's very frustrating to watch right now.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain aspects of this team for sure that are very frustrating. So, okay, so now that we've established that, okay, defense is defense. Now I'm going to have to ask the question: goaltending concerns. Do you think it's a problem like what you're seeing with the defense right now, or is it not?
No, I have some concerns about goaltending right now, but I think it is tied to the defense. I mean, you see, I mean, the Flyers, they don't slow anybody down coming into the zone. I mean, they're just letting teams, kind of whatever they want to do to set up, and there really seems to be no pressure there.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, Neuwirth really concerns me right now. He's played 3 games this season, looked good in that Kings game. But in the
surprising to see him pulled.
Yeah,
for
but,
Mason.
I mean, but the last 2 games that he's played, he's been pulled. He's got a 4.46 goals against average against him right now. So the other night against Buffalo, he gave up 3 goals on 17 shots.
Yeah.
And again, some of those, I mean, especially I think the third goal he should have probably saved before he got pulled. But then credit to Mason. He came in, made, I think, 8 saves in that third period. And then, of course, 2 big saves in the shootout to help get the Flyers the 2 points in that game. But then, so you're feeling good about Mason after that game. But then last night, Mason gives up 5 goals on just 25 shots. Again,
well, one of them shouldn't have been a goal.
I really think 2 of them probably should have been a goal. The
one for sure.
The one for sure. I didn't realize you could just actually fall with the puck and go into the net.
Steamroll into a goaltender like your Thomas the Tank Engine?
And that would count. And then I always thought when a fight happens that stops play, but apparently that's not the case.
Oh, no. See, I have the rules here. See this part right here? You see section 8A, paragraph 2. You see what this says right here?
Yeah.
It says that is the rule unless it's against the Philadelphia.
The Flyers.
You see? Did you see it right there?
Yep.
Now I sound like Trump. The whole system is crooked.
It's rigged.
It's rigged. Okay, it's rigged.
But yeah, I mean, the Flyers have to get, better. I think better goaltending. It looks like Mason has established himself as the number 1. Now, it'll be interesting to see this weekend. I guess you go Mason against Pittsburgh and Neuwirth in Carolina.
Yeah,
I'm not
probably.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I'd probably go that route. But that also raises the question as well to you, my friend. Front end, back end also including goaltenders. Which aspect has you more concerned at this point?
Oh, the defense, the back end, the defense and the goaltending. I mean, offensively, this team is scoring goals. I mean, the forwards are playing well right now.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what offense has been doing lately, and also the young guys as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start with the captain, because the one thing that's it's driving me nuts with the captain right now is really the complaint from the fan base, and even Jim Jackson and Keith Jones last night were saying, he really needs to get that goal. And, the guy's leading the league in assists right now. He's got 9 points in 8 games. He's doing this thing. I think if there's one place where you want to be concerned about Giroux right now is that he is a -6. So that's something that, he's got to clean up a little bit. But he's setting guys up for
the
goals.
guy's not a ghost on the score sheet.
No, not at all. Continuing with that, I mean, it's good to see Jake having a fairly hot start to the year.
Boy, has he ever.
He's looked great out there. 3 goals, 5 assists.
Looks great.
So, averaging a point per game. Wayne Simmons, I mean, come on. The guy continues to be a force on the power play. He's got 5 goals on the season now, 4 of them on the power play. So, I mean, continue to watch him play and still be that same dominating force.
And let's take it on the other side, too. Penalty kill. Pierre-Edouard Bellemare on the penalty kill has just been absolutely fantastic for the Flyers.
Yeah. I mean, he's been good. I really think, you're looking at forwards. I'd still like to see a little bit more offense out of Couturier. He kind of got me all excited after that first game. Really looked like an offensive presence, but really haven't seen that much since then. But what's been also nice to see is that, especially last night, that Shen seems to be getting his legs back.
How about that
rusty
goal he had last night?
That was beautiful.
That was great. That was really good.
Falling down and just the presence of mind to push that puck in. So that was great to see. So in only 5 games, he's another one averaging a point a game so far. He's got 5 points already this season, 2 goals, 3 assists. So I think like I said, I don't have any real concerns with the offense outside of the slow starts. It seems like once they get their legs going, once they get some momentum in them, they don't stop. Then they're constantly attacking. So the talent's there on this team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, you got to shore up the goaltending and shore up the defense. And I think the defense really will solve a lot of the goaltending issues. So that's what I'm looking for, and seeing what kind of adjustments that Hakstol will make. And like I said earlier, I think it'll be good for this team to get Del Zotto back.
Yeah, I mean that's a much needed asset at this point. Getting Michael Del Zotto back into the lineup for the Flyers, because they are sorely missing his presence at this current point in time.
Absolutely. And I guess the only other area that we probably need to talk about are the kids.
I
knew
that this was coming. Man,
I mean, we
what
talked
an
a little bit about
exciting evening that was.
Yeah, I mean, talking about Provorov a little bit earlier. Once he kind of got paired up with Manning, you've seen what he's done, and how great was it the other night again in Buffalo when he takes the shot and Konechny deflects it for his first goal in the NHL, and that was just a little peek. I think I texted you right after that. I'm like, there it is. There's the future right there. How sweet was that?
It was very exciting to see. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that wasn't stoked about that.
Well, no, because you saw a couple. Konechny has had a lot of great chances so far. You can see the jump. You can see the speed. What surprised me about him is how gritty and how tough he is.
For a little guy. Yeah, I like it.
He takes a beating, but yet he'll throw out some hits too, and he'll look to deliver some hits. Now, I don't want to see him doing that all too often because he is a smaller stature of a guy, and I don't want to see him get hurt, but man, I love the way that guy competes.
Man, and he was chirping at some veteran defensemen.
19 years old and out there and just carrying himself, and that was the kind of the excitement and the energy that we talked about.
I like it. I liked seeing that from him.
This is great to see so far. So
it's very exciting, and you don't need us to tell you that it's very exciting. I think everybody at this point under the sun pretty much knows it's exciting.
But Konechny, another guy, he's got 7 points already on the season.
Yeah,
that's great to see.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah. Now, like I said, Provorov still kind of a work in progress, and it's very tough for a defenseman to come in, especially at 19, and be kind of a superstar. I think Ghost set the bar very high last year, but you have to remember that Ghost was, 23, 24 last year, so a little bit older than your typical rookie who's coming in. But I think as Konechny gets more comfortable in the NHL, and I think we've already seen that over the first 8 games, that he's going to be a solid defenseman as well. Still a -5 on the season, but I think that'll be improving here.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff is just going to work itself out. I mean, it's still pretty early on in the season.
Oh, yeah.
It's not
it's only 8 games.
Yeah, there's no alarms going off. We're not in panic mode or anything like that.
No, I mean again, I'm coming off of last night, very frustrated. But you know what? Come Monday morning, who knows? They could win both games this weekend, and I'll be getting ready for a parade.
Yeah.
So I think this team's just a very Jekyll and Hyde team.
Yeah, and it has been like that, for a while.
But I was talking with Angry Bob, our buddy.
Oh, good old Angry Bob.
Here in the office. And, he was saying, we were talking about the slow starts. And he's saying, can you really blame Hakstol for not having them ready? Because this has been a pattern over several coaches. It's not just this year that this has become an issue. I mean, this was an issue with Lavi. This was an issue with Berube. I don't know. It keeps continuing. So I don't know what the answer is right there. Maybe you have to look at the captain at this point.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
He's the one constant. That's the only thing I'm saying. Again, I don't want to kill Giroux or anything like that, because I think he's really playing some good hockey early on this season. Yes, doesn't have the goals, but again, the assists are there. But I don't know. Maybe he's got to find a way to light a fire under them before these games start.
I'd be compelled to agree, but I'm not going to tack it all on just one player. But Yeah, I mean, it makes sense what you're saying, and I'm sure, some people want to agree. Hey, here's something real quick.
Okay.
Now, coming up, I'm saying this right now. I'm making the executive decision. I've made it before. Rage-inducing Facebook comments is coming back. Now, we're not doing it today on this episode of the show, but I just wanted to give you a little taste. Are you ready for this? I'm going to read one that I saw.
Okay.
Okay, now this is on Flyers Nation. Larry Borland says, "We need real goalies." All in caps. We need real goalies.
I mean, it's great after 8 games that everybody's willing just to forget about what happened last year. What's his name? Larry? These guys, stole games last year. They were great. Yeah. It's not been the greatest start of the season. We've already talked about it with.
We've done great for not having real goalies.
Yeah, but again, this team is 3-4-1. It's not horrendous. 2 of the goals last night, definitely one of the goals, should not have counted.
No, absolutely not. And that's another thing. That's another point. Doesn't it seem like almost every game over the course of this season, in one way, shape, or form, either once or twice, sometimes even 3 times, there's some kind of issue with goaltender interference?
Yes.
Either there's a challenge for it,
Yeah.
there's a call for it. It seems like the refs are always going back and putting on those headphones.
I honestly don't know what goaltender interference is anymore.
I don't either. Can somebody
Because
help us?
I thought for sure that's,
I'm pretty sure that's what it was last night.
When you ram into somebody and take the puck with you into the net along with the goaltender, I thought that was goaltender interference. I was wrong. I've given up. It's almost like pass interference in the NFL. I have no idea what that is anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they need to work on that, I think, a little bit to have a more clear definition of it. But it's nice to see, coaches also defending their goaltenders by making challenges like that. I think that's a good thing. It does them some favors as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see the challenges out there. I'm just seeing very few that are overturned.
Yeah, there hasn't been very many.
Yeah.
They've always just either ruled it a good goal or what. So there you go. There's one. So we need real goalies. That's what Larry says.
Yeah, well, I'm glad he's ready to throw in the towel after 8 games.
And then somebody replies to it and says, "Everyone says we have them." And then he says, all in caps, "They lied." They lied.
Larry, you don't have to keep the caps lock on all
Take
the time.
off the tinfoil hat, dude. They lied. It's like, is this guy secretly Alex Jones?
It could be.
This Infowars.com. We don't have any real goalies here in Philadelphia.
It's all the aliens' fault.
It's all part of the globalists. They're trying to take you down. Hillary Clinton does not believe in America. She likes Sidney Crosby. Steve Mason's a fraud. Can we do a segment where we have Alex Jones come on the show?
I think we just had him.
There he was. They lied. We don't have any real goalies.
So where are you with this team right now? Do you still think they're a playoff team, or are you a little concerned?
I think it's still too soon to tell to say, is a team going to be a playoff team? I'll say this. They have the potential to be still. They still have that potential. They have it within them. But like what you said earlier, McDonald, number 1, you need to go, bud.
Yep,
I mean,
absolutely.
they need to do a little, as Ed Snyder would say, retooling. Retool that defense just a little bit. I mean, you got to get some more. You got to get a more competent defenseman to pair off with somebody like Gostisbehere.
Ghost can't do everything by himself out there.
No, and that's one of the things that just needs to be addressed. I think that's one of the most important things, because you got to get some more support for some of your goaltenders.
I mean, I don't know who else you sit at this point when Del Zotto comes back, because Del Zotto's got to be put in the lineup, correct?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt.
So
yeah, he's got to be reinserted in that lineup, and I believe he's practicing again.
Yeah, I believe he rejoined the team last week.
So rage-inducing Facebook comments are coming back. I have found some pretty.
That was a good one to start the year off.
Isn't
with,
that?
though.
Oh,
that was pretty good.
Boy.
Yeah.
I'm just I scroll through this page on Flyers Nation. I'm like, will this kill Ken?
See, I stopped following this page because, yes, it would. I mean, it's bad enough the team almost is killing me at this point. Now you want to throw this stuff into it.
Oh, speaking of things that make me want to die, how about Ty Domi being at the game last night?
Ty looks like he's eating well.
Ty Domi looks like he has an intimate relationship with donuts.
Isn't Black supposed to be slimming? Because that wasn't working for him last night.
Yeah, no, he looked. He looked.
He's not
rough.
still in the area, is he?
I love the fact that and it's of course, as soon as you bring up Ty Domi in Philadelphia, you got to show that clip again.
That clip is still one of my all-time
And that guy
favorites.
is such a hero.
Yeah.
That one fan.
What I always forget is that it was another guy. It wasn't the guy who Ty Domi was squirting the water at. It's just another guy from another row, and he just goes tumbling in there, and he gets some good shots in there on Ty.
And shout out to one of our friends on Reddit, Flyers, Milge. He said he was, in fact, at that very game. The Ty Domi game.
Oh, really?
He was there.
That's fantastic.
I was talking about it with him on Reddit last night. He said he was on the opposite side, maybe the 20th row. It was amazing. F Ty Domi. I couldn't have said it any better myself. So that's cool. Thanks for that input, Milge. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
That you got to get to that game. That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's one that you'll never
definitely
forget.
one, yeah, you'll remember forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And your children's children will remember at some point, too. You're going to have to explain to them how terrible Ty Domi is.
So before we get out of here for the day, what do you think happens this weekend? Do we at least get a split? I mean, it's not like Carolina's lighting the world on fire.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay.
Oh.
Before we address this, I'm going to ask you a question.
All right.
Let's talk odds.
Odds?
Yes.
Okay.
What team has better odds for a win this weekend? The Eagles defeat the Cowboys or the Flyers beat the Penguins?
Flyers, Penguins.
You think that...
Yeah, I am not confident.
You think the Flyers are going to beat the Penguins?
Yeah, I hate to say it.
You don't think the Eagles?
I'm not confident about this Eagles game.
Really? See, I thought you were going to go Eagles because, like, hey, who wasn't confident about that Vikings game?
Well, I wasn't confident then either. So maybe, my lack of confidence is, translating to Eagles victory.
I know, this is a good question because, like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it now, and I'm kind of, like, scratching my head.
The thing that scares me about the Eagles game is Zeke Elliott. If the Eagles defense that played against Minnesota
If they show up,
then yeah. But if we get the Eagles defense that played against Washington, then Elliott could have a career day. That's what scares me.
so you're more worried about this Eagles-Dallas matchup than
Yeah. And the
Flyers,
fact that
Penguins.
the Eagles have no wide receivers whatsoever.
You think that the Flyers have a better chance of pulling out a victory this weekend?
Yeah, because I think that the Flyers, offensively have looked really good. If they can shore up some of the things on the back end, then yeah, there's no reason. It's not like the Penguins are, lighting the world on fire.
Right. They
know-
lost to Montreal 5-0
Yeah.
last week.
and I know Crosby's back now, but still, no, big deal.
Well, I would definitely have to say that Eagles-Dallas win is certainly more important at this point because you only have 16 games in the season for crying out loud. I'm going to have to say go Sixers.
Hey, you know what?
Yo, Embiid, dude.
He looks really good. He looks like the real deal, and that guy's just he's just fun. He's entertaining. So I really hope he stays healthy for the sake of the Sixers and Sixers fans, because if you're a fan of that team, you've suffered long enough. So it's about time some good comes your way.
You know what's better than Embiid shutting down Westbrook? That fan giving the finger to Westbrook.
And again, it just goes right to the narrative of the, classless, stupid Philadelphia fan. When are we going to learn?
Well, apparently Russell Westbrook called the dude fat, and then he flipped him off.
Yeah, but that's the only thing that the whole world sees at that
It's
point.
just the
another
Philadelphia fan.
Yeah, another idiot Philadelphia fan, and that's all. That's all ESPN needs.
Oh yeah, and
More
then
fuel to
they're
the fire.
rolling with this whole story about how they didn't let that girl sing the anthem, but yet there was a signed agreement in the contract. There was a clause saying no political statements.
Well, I know the Sixers came out today and kind of said that they were in the wrong.
Sorry.
Yeah, and they should have let her sing. And now they've extended the invitation to her to come out and sing at a game of her choosing. So hopefully that situation now will resolve itself.
There you go. Back to the matter at hand. Okay, so for this weekend, got off task just a little bit. Okay.
There's a shock.
Flyers, Penguins tomorrow. Boy, prediction time. It's going to be a tough one. Giroux gets his first goal of the season tomorrow
Okay.
against the Penguins. I'm not going to say if it's either going to be a win or a loss, but I just have a feeling that he's going to get a goal. That's what I think. I have a feeling. I think it's going to come tomorrow.
The way I see this weekend playing out is that the Flyers come out ready to play tomorrow against the Penguins, get the win, and then we have the huge letdown on Sunday.
I'll never give Dallas the benefit of the doubt. Ever. They'll still find a way to screw up. Jerry Jones will be up in the box, be like, put in Romo. Hey, like them Cowboys.
That would be. I don't want to go back to football, but I will. That's another reason why I really hope the Eagles do win, because I don't want to hear that. Oh, look at the Cowboys! They got Dak Prescott in the 4th round, and you guys gave up all these draft picks for Wentz, and look, Prescott's better.
I wonder if Chris Christie's going to be at the game.
He's got nothing else to do, does he?
I'm sure he has stuff he should be doing.
He's not shutting down any bridges, is he?
No. Okay, so. Yes, the Flyers win would certainly be nice because it's the Penguins and everybody hates the Penguins. I don't know. I'll say Flyer. I'll give you a score prediction then. Let's do this then. All right, Giroux gets his first goal. Flyers win 3-2 in regulation.
3-2 in regulation. All right, nice.
Yeah, why not? Let's go a little crazy.
Yep, I'll go 5-3.
In regulation.
In regulation.
Flyers will win
Empty netter.
5-3.
Yeah, attack an empty netter on at the end. So
Okay. I'll take it.
my predictions are never right. So.
I don't know.
So don't bet on that.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about any of this, but I mean, it should be hopefully an entertaining game. It really comes down. It comes down the first 20 minutes of this game. It comes down to that on when you face a team like Pittsburgh, and we're not one to throw them a bone, but it's like this team did win the Cup last year.
Stop it.
This team did win the Cup last year.
That didn't happen, did it? I don't remember that at all. I think your facts are wrong on that one.
So, you can't let off the gas at any point. You got to come out of the gate, start off like that.
Well, hopefully the game last night put a bad taste in their mouth and they'll want to come out and really take
Hell,
it to the
would
Pens.
for me. Simmons looked pissed after he scored that goal last night to make it 5-4. He was like, all right, I'm done with this.
That was
Let's
the
all
least
get it
happy
going."
I've ever seen a player after scoring a goal.
I don't know. Austin Matthews looked pretty miserable by the time he scored his 4th. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, fine. I guess I'm going to score
all this myself.
I love that the Leafs are just a dumpster fire again because now they don't have goaltending. And now Babcock is getting into it with the Toronto media. Did you see that?
Well, you knew that was just a matter of time before that happened.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because the Toronto media,
And this is coming from Philadelphia.
Yeah. I mean, they are rough up there.
And Babs, man, he ain't having it. And and they ran Kessel out of town.
Yeah.
And look at him now. Ugh.
Yeah, stop. Just stop it right there.
Oh, wait. No, we're not going to do that.
We didn't have to go. Yeah.
How the hell did Kulikov not even get a hearing about that hit? He blatantly left his skates. The puck was... Voracek already passed it away.
Go back to your rule book right there.
Oh.
And it's the same thing.
You know what? I think you're right about that, actually.
Yeah, if it happens against the Flyers, it does not count.
Oh, yeah. See, and if it was us, that probably would have been like a 5-game suspension. I'm surprised Gudas didn't even get suspended for that just because.
Gudas gets suspended for that hit?
For Kulikov's hit on Voracek, Gudas suspended.
I wouldn't put it past the NHL.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. So... As much as I'd like to do NHL disciplinary night court and say, Kulikov is somewhat of a worthless player who...
But Voracek got the last laugh on that one. He scored the game winner in the shootout. So,
and I believe there was somebody on Reddit Flyers that said Voracek is going to score the game winner.
Wow.
I don't remember who it was.
There we go. A lot of good predicting early on in the season.
Yeah, so we'll see what's going to become of this weekend. We hope it's going to be...
Should be a good one.
Yeah, I hope. I really do. And, I'm not giving up on these guys yet. Obviously, if you give up on them, what the hell are you doing watching?
Well, if it's not a good weekend, I won't be here Monday. So just let you know that now.
Konechny, I think, is going to have a big game, too. I think he's going to have a strong showing.
What I'm hearing when you say that, hat trick.
Ooh. I don't know about that. Maybe. Let's just take it one step at a time. So that game, as we all know, coming up tomorrow, 7 p.m. at the Wells Fargo Center. And if you are going to that game, have an awesome time.
Yep.
And get yourself one of those new 50th anniversary jerseys. Hey, speaking of which, Real quick. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Real quick.
Punch me in the face there.
Do you want to know what my favorite thing about the ceremony, the Hall of Fame ceremony last night was?
Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about that. That was fantastic.
Albeit how small. It's been a long time since I've seen this. But Ron Hextall in a Flyers jersey. That made me so incredibly happy.
Now, am I wrong? But everybody else who was participating in that ceremony looked like they were having a good time, enjoying themselves. And Hextall comes bouncing out, and he's like, "All right, can we get this over with? I have work to do."
No, he was smiling. he was talking with Poulin and Brindamore, and they were all having a good time.
It was great to see him.
Yeah.
I was like, when they announced him,
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh man, there's a name I haven't heard in a while."
And Prop, and
yeah.
oh man,
Yeah.
that was great. But yeah, seeing Hextall again in a Flyers jersey, wow, man, did that make me happy?
But just we were talking about this earlier today, this morning actually, about every guy who came out. It's just a bona fide star. And how different it is, and I know you disagree with me, but the Phillies Wall of Fame is, you got guys like Mike Lieberthal.
Come on. I like Lieberthal.
Does he really belong on a Wall of Fame, or a Juan Samuel? No. But every Flyer definitely belongs there.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about people that were, legendary hockey players, but also in the sense of the word, architects.
Also,
that
absolutely.
Help contribute to this rich history that we're celebrating 50 years of this year. And the Pittsburgh Penguins are only celebrating 30 years of being in the NHL. Because remember, they didn't really exist. Speaking of which, they're making, so get this, all right? The Penguins shared this on Facebook. They're making a documentary about the Pittsburgh Penguins, okay? About penguins and, having hockey in Pittsburgh. The very first shot of the trailer shows Hall of Fame stuff, and it all just starts with 1988.
Well, yeah.
Just Lemieux.
I mean,
and I'm just like,
they had nothing else before that.
So, they don't deserve a documentary. They don't deserve Stanley Cups either.
They went, 25 years before winning in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I mean, this was a team that was at the bottom of whatever division it was at the time.
Yeah.
And didn't do anything. Their history didn't start until the 80s. That's why I'm really looking forward to that alumni game to see who the hell the Penguins are going to be playing. People that we've been with, that we've had.
Yeah.
Recchi
That's
and
it.
Talking.
We have to let them have some people.
Yeah. I'd love to know how many actual Penguins fans are going to know who some of those players are. You probably won't.
Wait a minute. We had a team in 1982?
Doing the best Seinfeld impression. Who are these people?
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us in this episode number 51.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
We blew through 50. We didn't even remember.
That kind of attention to detail you only get here on the Philly Hockey Guys podcast.
I remember at the beginning of the show, I couldn't even remember my name.
Ken Prell he's got this Ken Bone sweater on today.
It is the red sweater.
You got this red sweater.
There we go. Yep.
Ken Bone.
Yeah.
Who would win in a fight, Ken Bone or Ken Prell?
Oh, Ken Bone.
You think?
Yeah.
We should try to make that happen.
Oh, yeah. Huge pay-per-view numbers.
Huge, believe me.
All right. Obviously, we've run out of stuff to talk about. So.
Yep. You know whose fault that is? The globalists. Sorry. For Alex Jones.
I'm Ken Prell.
I'm Andy Robb.
We are the Philly Hockey Guys. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
That's right. You better believe it, buddy.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like the Philly Hockey Guys podcast page on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Philly Hockey Guy and subscribe on iTunes, TuneIn, and SoundCloud.